Nothing tests love like money. You think it's communication issues? No. Today we're answering a deceptively simple question. Should couples have a joint account? Sounds romantic. Sounds efficient. Also sounds like a potential financial horror movie. By the end, you'll know what actually works, what silently destroys relationships, and how to design a money system that builds wealth without building resentment. Number 1, the idea sounds perfect. On paper, a joint account looks like the ultimate relationship upgrade. Two people, one financial team, moving in perfect harmony. It feels efficient, organized, even a little romantic. No more splitting bills, no more you owe me messages. Everything goes into one pot and everything gets paid from one place. Simple. And honestly, it makes sense. You're building a life together, so why not build your finances together too? Rent, groceries, vacations, long-term investing. One account seems like the cleanest solution. It removes friction and creates a sense of unity. Financially, it says we're in this together. There's also a psychological benefit. A joint account can reinforce trust and transparency. No secrets, no hidden spending, no guessing. You both see the full picture, which can feel empowering, especially when you're working toward shared goals like buying a home or building wealth. But here's where the perfect idea gets interesting. Are you ready to say what's mine is yours? What works perfectly in theory doesn't always translate perfectly in real life. Because money isn't just maths. It's habits, emotions, and personal values all mixed together. And when those differences show up, that simple, perfect system can start to feel a lot more complicated. Number 2, the psychological reality. Here's where things get real. Money is not just numbers on a screen. It is identity, habits, and emotion wrapped into one sensitive topic. You might think a joint account creates unity, but it also exposes every difference in how two people think about money. One person might see saving as security. The other sees spending as enjoying life. Neither is wrong, but when both behaviors flow through the same account, friction starts. Suddenly, a simple purchase is not just a transaction. It feels like a statement. Why did you buy this? Can quickly turn into why are you like this? Psychologically, people attach meaning to money. It can represent freedom, control, success, or even self-worth. When accounts are combined, those meanings collide. What used to be a personal choice now feels like a shared decision, even for small things. This is where silent tension builds. One partner may start holding back purchases. The other may feel judged without anything being said. Over time, it is not the money that creates stress. It is the interpretation behind it. A joint account does not remove financial differences. It puts them under a spotlight. Number 3, the transparency trap. Transparency sounds like the gold standard in relationships. A joint account delivers exactly that, every dollar in, every dollar out, fully visible. No secrets, no surprises. In theory, this should build trust. In practice, when you hear, "Why did you spend $42 on lunch?" Congratulations, you've just turned your relationship into an audit. You are now living under financial surveillance. When every transaction is shared, even small, harmless purchases can start to feel loaded. A quick coffee, a late-night online order, a random splurge, it's all there, documented. And once it's visible, it becomes open to interpretation. Not discussion, not curiosity, interpretation. This is where the trap forms. Transparency without context can create assumptions. Why did they spend that? It turns into silent judgment. Over time, partners may start justifying purchases before they even happen, or worse, avoiding them altogether to prevent conflict. Instead of feeling open, one or both people may feel watched. And when people feel watched, they don't feel free. That freedom matters because autonomy is a key part of a healthy relationship. Ironically, a system designed to build trust can slowly introduce tension. Not because transparency is bad, but because constant visibility changes behavior. It shifts money from a tool into a source of pressure. Number 4, power imbalance problems. Money doesn't just pay bills. It quietly shapes power. And in a joint account, that power can become uneven without anyone saying it out loud. If one partner earns more, it can create an invisible hierarchy. Control issues can creep in, even unintentionally. The higher earner might feel more entitled to spending decisions. The lower earner might feel like they need permission, even if no one explicitly says it. A joint account can create tension around who deserves to spend more. That's not love, that's corporate budgeting. Over time, that subtle dynamic can shift the tone of the relationship. It can show up in small ways. One person questions purchases more often. The other hesitates before buying something personal. Even shared expenses can feel different depending on who contributes more. What was supposed to be a shared system starts to feel like one person is leading and the other is adjusting. The tricky part is that this isn't always intentional. Most couples don't sit down and decide to create imbalance. It happens naturally when income, career stages, or financial habits are different. A joint account doesn't cause inequality, but it can amplify it. Without clear communication and boundaries, money can turn into leverage. And once money becomes about control instead of collaboration, the relationship starts paying a much higher price than any bill. Number 5, the hybrid strategy, also the most practical. Here's where things get interesting. Many successful couples use 3 accounts. Because if the all-in-one approach feels risky and completely separate accounts feel disconnected, there's a middle ground that tends to work best: the hybrid strategy. This balances teamwork with independence. No guilt over small purchases. No arguments over coffee. You basically have one joint account for shared expenses and 2 personal accounts for individual freedom. Think of it like a financial team with defined lanes. You keep one joint account for shared expenses: rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, insurance, long-term savings. Then each person keeps their own personal account for individual spending. No explanations needed for a $6 coffee or a random late-night purchase. This setup does 2 important things. First, it creates structure. Shared responsibilities are handled together, which keeps the household running smoothly. Second, it preserves independence. Each person maintains control over a portion of their money, which reduces friction and protects personal freedom. Typically, couples contribute to the joint account based on income, either equally or proportionally. The exact split matters less than the agreement itself. What matters is that both people feel it's fair. The hybrid model doesn't eliminate financial differences, but it manages them better. It removes unnecessary tension from small decisions while keeping both partners aligned on big goals. It's not about separating your lives. It's about designing a system where teamwork and individuality can coexist without constant conflict. Number 6, define roles clearly. Even the best account setup can fail if no one knows who is responsible for what. This is where many couples run into trouble. Not because they disagree, but because they assume the other person is handling it. Who pays bills? Who tracks investments? Who handles budgeting? If no one knows, chaos wins. Financial clarity reduces emotional conflict. Defining roles brings clarity. One person might manage bill payments and due dates. The other might track investments or monitor the budget. It does not have to be perfectly equal, but it does have to be clearly understood. Without defined roles, small things slip. A missed payment here, an overlooked subscription there. Over time, these small gaps turn into bigger problems and unnecessary stress. Then the conversation shifts from teamwork to blame. Clear roles also reduce mental load. Instead of both people worrying about everything, each person owns specific areas. That ownership creates accountability and confidence. This is not about control. It is about efficiency. Think of it like running a small business. When responsibilities are clear, decisions are faster and mistakes are fewer. The key is to revisit roles regularly. As income, schedules, and priorities change, responsibilities should adjust too. A joint system works best when both people know exactly what they are responsible for and trust the other to handle their part. Number 7, align on goals, not just accounts. A joint account can organize your money, but it cannot align your priorities. That's the part many couples overlook. You can share an account and still be moving in completely different financial directions. Alignment starts with goals, not logistics. What are you actually working towards? Is it early retirement, buying a home, building an investment portfolio, or enjoying a higher lifestyle today? These choices shape how money should be used. If one person is focused on long-term investing and wealth building, while the other prioritizes experiences and spending now, the tension will not come from the account. It will come from the mismatch in direction. Every financial decision becomes a subtle disagreement about the future. This is why conversations matter more than structure. Sit down and define what success looks like as a couple. Set timelines, priorities, and boundaries. Agree on how much goes to saving, investing, and spending. Once goals are aligned, the account setup becomes a tool, not a source of conflict. Decisions feel easier because they are guided by a shared vision. At the end of the day, money is just a resource. Alignment determines whether it brings you closer together or quietly pulls you apart. Number 8, emergency and exit planning. This part is not romantic, but it is necessary. Every solid financial system includes a plan for emergencies and a plan for independence. A joint account should never mean you are financially stuck if something goes wrong. Start with an emergency fund. This is your shared safety net for job loss, medical bills, or unexpected expenses. It should be clearly defined, easily accessible, and not mixed with everyday spending. When both partners know it is there, it reduces stress and prevents panic decisions. Now the uncomfortable part, exit planning. This is not about expecting the relationship to fail. It is about protecting both individuals. Each person should maintain some level of financial independence, whether that is a personal account, individual savings, or access to credit. Why does this matter? Because financial dependency can trap people in bad situations. A healthy relationship is one where both people stay by choice, not because leaving would be financially impossible. Clear agreements also help. Know how money would be handled if circumstances change. It removes confusion during already difficult moments. A strong financial setup does not just support the relationship during good times. It protects both people when life becomes unpredictable. Number 9, communication is the real system. You can have the perfect account structure on paper and still run into problems if communication is weak. At the end of the day, accounts don't manage money, people do. And people need to talk. Regular money check-ins prevent small issues from becoming relationship-ending problems. A joint account, separate accounts, or a hybrid system will only work as well as the conversations behind it. Without regular check-ins, small misunderstandings start to build. One person assumes everything is fine, while the other quietly feels frustrated. Over time, silence turns into tension. Strong communication turns money from a sensitive topic into a shared strategy. It does not have to be complicated. Set a simple routine. Maybe once a month, sit down and review spending, savings, and upcoming goals. Keep it neutral, not emotional. The goal is clarity, not criticism. This is also where expectations get reset. Income changes, expenses shift, priorities evolve. If you are not talking about it, your system becomes outdated without you realizing it. The real benefit of communication is trust. When both people feel heard and understood, financial decisions become easier and faster. The account is just a tool. Communication is the system that makes it work. So should couples have a joint account? The answer isn't yes or no. It's what system fits your personalities, income levels, and goals. Joint accounts can work, but only if they are designed intentionally, not emotionally. Money doesn't ruin relationships, unclear systems do. Whether you choose joint, separate, or hybrid accounts, the goal is the same: reduce stress, build wealth, and protect your partnership. If you want more practical strategies on investing, budgeting, and financial psychology, click like and subscribe and keep learning how to make money work for you. See you in the next video.